Hi, today the topic is about Commonwealth citizenship, corporate citizenship, dual citizenship. Basically, Commonwealth citizenship is acquired by virtue of holding citizenship of any Commonwealth member state. There are 54 member states which are formally territories of British state. The headquarters it is situated in UK and it is an international association. The membership will be acquired on the basis of colony of British Empire, and all the colonies or country which were under the British Empire will be associated with Commonwealth nations. The Commonwealth citizens has the most significant privileges, that is voting rights, governmental jobs and special rights. So the ideology of Commonwealth citizenship was created out of a gradual transition. Before 1949, that is the British Nationality Act 1948, in this act redefined British subject. Any citizens of UK Kingdom, colony or Commonwealth countries are defined under this act, and also the Commonwealth citizen which is defined under this act. Corporate citizenship. Corporate citizenship is the distribution of a business or organization makes to a local community or a society of a whole, but also investment to the local communities. It is also directly linked with corporate social responsibility. So, when a company is recognized, that is, a company is registered under the Companies Act, then their responsibility start as a citizen of country. They have to obey all the rules and regulations regarding Companies Act 2013 and also act responsible citizens. It should be taking care of environment, social, society, locality in which the company is settled. Dual citizenship. India provides only a single citizenship, not a dual citizenship. Overseas citizenship is considered as a dual citizenship by some countries, but in India it is not. A person of Indian origin who is having another citizenship is given an overseas citizenship, and now this overseas citizenship is considered as a dual citizenship, but is actually not a dual citizenship. Conditions for the overseas citizenship, that is, he or she must be in Indian origin, he or she must be working outside India for an indefinite period. Let's see about overseas citizenship. It is explained under the Citizenship Act of 1955 under section 2 subclause EE. Two conditions that is required for overseas citizenship, that is, he or she must be an Indian origin but being a citizen of a specified country. He or she must be a citizen of India immediately before becoming a citizen of specified country. So the specified countries, it is defined under the section 7A1 subclause BB, that is, there are specified under the 4th schedule. There are some countries, that is Australia, Canada, Finland, France and so on. These countries are specified as specific countries. So whenever an Indian origin who is a citizen in any of these countries, he has registered under an Indian embassy and the central government registered as an overseas citizen, then he will be considered as an overseas citizenship. There are some applications regarding the overseas citizen, that is, renunciation of overseas citizens, it is defined under section 7C, cancellation which is defined under section 7D, issue of nationality, a national identity card, that is section under section 40A, and termination of any citizenship explained under the Act 1955. Non-resident India. A non-resident, an NRI, simply called as an NRI, that is a person of Indian origin or a people of Indian birth, descent or origin who live outside India. So they have a specific specific status, that is tax redemption, that is said under section 6 of the Income Tax Act. He has not resided in India for a specific period for the purpose of income tax, he will be tax redempted. According to a Ministry of External Affairs report, there are 28 million NRIs and PIOs residing outside India. According to UN National Department, that is largest country of origin of international immigrants with 17.5 or the NRIs.